What's going on, everybody? It's Murph. Welcome back to the channel. And today we're going to go through this big info drop that we had a few days ago. It's a massive amount of news for the game, and I'm a few days late on it. Apologies, I had a busy week at work, but we're going to roll into it. We're going to talk kind of about what we're doing now with the account. So let's go ahead and roll over to Discord. Now, this was a massive update 2 days ago. Notably, new character and adventure Arwen. So Arwen is going to be running from June 1st to June 7th for the first time for the event, which means if we go in game here, we can actually go over to the adventure tab. We can see the bitter and the sweet marquee adventure for Arwen here. To kind of go through it quickly, you'll need to be level 30 in order to access her adventure. Players will have to complete tier 4 of her adventure in order to unlock and obtain a 3-star Arwen. For the very brave, there's also the potential for bonus rewards if you can progress Arwen to 5 stars. So that would be tier 5 and 6 here. You'll get bonus rewards if you can get her to 5 stars or higher, which I do believe is going to end up having to be a pay event or a pay to play, because you will only be getting Arwen shards from these first 4 difficulties here. So it looks copy paste exactly the same thing as what Star Wars Galaxy of Heroes does for their marquee character releases. Some other things to talk about here. We've got new chapters for Light and Shadow. So 2 new chapters have been added to the Light and Shadow campaigns, which means that we have chapter 6. We have campaign balances and tweaks. So a couple of campaign nodes were tweaked difficulty wise. We have bonus chest changes. This is big. So Sam Gamgee was taken out of the bonus chest, which makes sense because he's supposed to be kind of like a pseudo legendary kind of character that you farm through your adventures. And they've now added gear and gold, which is much needed because we don't have a lot of resource income right now. And they've doubled the amount of character shards that are dropping from it. So it definitely feels way more rewarding to actually check in every 4 hours and pop that bonus chest. Now, they're doing a little bit to make up for the gold, and they swapped around a lot of character shard location changes, or a lot of character shards. So if we look, we got an elf that is moving farm locations, an elf that's moving farm locations, and an elf that's moving farm locations. So they did all of this in order to make it a little easier on players to start farming out the requirements for Elrond. So Naramiri is now a guild farm instead of a campaign farm, which makes it much easier for us to get that 5-star required to get Elrond. We've got Elro here moving from a very late campaign farm to an earlier, somewhat earlier guild farm, which is great because now we can start farming Elro here earlier. And then we've also got Leliel is moving. This one is kind of the kicker. You won't really be able to farm Leliel reliably until you're a bit later in the game, like maybe like level 40-ish is when I was able to 3-star that campaign node. And the excuse me, arena and challenge supplies changed. So both arena and challenge supplies have been tweaked to always include character shards rather than a chance to not include any character shards at all. It's going to eliminate instances where players can't purchase Halberad character shards, which is awesome. And there's a whole slew of improvements and bug fixes in here as well. So outside of that, I'm going to pop over to here real quick. And I believe under the data mines, we have a lot of information. Like a lot of information has been data mined this week. So first off, Elrond is going to be getting the same kind of treatment that Arwen is getting right now with a marquee character release. He's going to be an important member of the Dunedain squad, so he's going to have the Ranger tag. And he's also going to have the Rivendell tag. So that's cool. We've got Elrond data mined in here. He was already announced, obviously, but now we have it confirmed through the data mine that you are going to have 5 Elven heroes between Arwen, Elodin, Elrohir, Leliel, Naramiri, or Lomion in order to get him. So what that means is we've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 Elven characters that we can use. We have to have 5 of them. So 5 out of those 6 have to be 5 stars to get him. And Arwen and Elodin are both going to be pay-to-play characters. You can only get them at 3 stars for their marquee events. So we're going to have to either get him the second time around, or if Elrond, I guess it depends how early Elrond's event is. If they end up pushing Elrond a few months down the road and Arwen becomes free-to-play before that, we might have a chance in order to get him free-to-play the first time around. If they release like Arwen straight into Elodin, straight into Elrond's event, like back to back, there's no chance. So It's unfortunate, but that's just kind of the way it is. And if was there anything else worth talking about in here? Gimli and Legolas have all been data mined and announced as well, and it looks like they're going to be part of a fellowship related team. So I felt the Fellowship of the Ring. And that's kind of it for the updates and data mines. Let's hop back into the game over here. So to get kind of into what I'm doing on the account here for the free to play is I'm building with the intent that I'm going to get Elrond the first time around, and if I don't, so be it. That's fine, but at least I will 100% be ready to get him the second time around. So the way I'm farming on this account right now is I am focusing into Elrond shards in my guild campaign. Once I have Elrond up to 5 stars, I will swap and I will move over to where is it? To Naramiri, who is another guild campaign farm. So these two are kind of the slam dunk. These should be fairly easy to go through and actually farm out the requirements for both Naramiri and for Elrond. Now, where it gets kind of tricky is Lomion and Leliel are in the guild campaigns, or sorry, not the guild campaigns, the regular campaigns, and you only get 5 attempts per day. So what I'm doing with them is I'm doing 1 refresh on both of them for now, because I started just this week farming them, which means I'm getting 10 attempts per day on both of them. I could be refreshing them for additional gems, but I'm just not making enough gems right now to make that feasible. I still need to be getting as many energy refreshes in as I can per day in order to maximize my account's experience gain so I can continue to level up and try to hit max level as soon as possible, while still maintaining a somewhat decent investment in the early farm for them. So that's kind of my game plan. Is I would rather farm these characters and not get Elrond, because Elrond is not available free to play and only available through pay to play, because 2 of the characters that are potentially needed are paywalled at 3 stars. I would rather be in that situation where I farm the characters and I cannot get it because I cannot farm 2 of the characters by the time he comes out, rather than not farm them, find out we are able to farm Arwen and Elrond in a month or 2 months from now, and then all of a sudden I'm screwed because now I'm not only trying to panic farm Arwen or Elrond, I'm trying to panic farm everything. It's either going to go 2 ways. Either they're not going to allow you to farm Arwen and Elrond free to play before Elrond comes out, and it's just going to be strictly pay to play players that are able to unlock Elrond, or they will release those characters as free to play farmable like just before Elrond's event, like a week before, so that it's just enough time for you to think you might have enough time to farm them out, but it's not going to be, which is going to entice a lot of people into swiping their credit cards. Remember, this is all about them making money at the end of the day. What makes more money? Making people know the only way they can get this character is to swipe their credit card, or is it to dangle the carrot in front of them and make them think they have a chance and get them invested in it and get their time behind it, and then get them a little bit of sunken cost fallacy, where all of a sudden I've spent the last 2 weeks farming this character. Now I'm not going to be able to get Elrond because essentially I farmed Arwen for 2 weeks for Elrond for 2 weeks, and I'm 20 shards short of Elrond's first go around. So let me just swipe my credit card because I'm already right here. I've already invested this much time and resources into it. I have to do it now. So that's kind of where I think it's going. It's going one of those 2 routes for sure, but at least we do have a hard confirmation of elves. So if you want Elrond the first time around as the first legendary character in Lord of the Rings, here's Middle Earth. Make sure you're farming the elves right now and give yourself the chance to potentially unlock him. And I guess we'll stick around and see what happens. I'm really excited for this Arwen event to start up in a few days or so, 5 days from now, I believe. Yeah, game's coming along well. Like, it was a little hiccupy at the start, but like, that's to be expected. It's a brand new game. There's always going to be kinks to work out, and I really feel like the resource income in this game, as bad as it has been so far, I feel like it's very much tuned for the back end of the game. So once you hit max level, you're kind of able to just maintain everything, rather than right now where everybody's panic trying to like invest and build and level everything right now, or even just swapping from one team to another team to invest in them. It's a lot of resources right now. I'm already down to the point where I'm only leveling like one character, one level per day just to get the objective for the day done and then like being done so I can hoard up all my XP and gold in the event that I might potentially have to swap over to start building the elves. So that's kind of the last point I want to leave you with, aside from farming the elves if you want Elrond. Make sure that you start stocking up on resources, because as of right now, if I even wanted to take, let's just take our level 1 character right now. So we unlock Arwen with this marquee event next week. Do I even have the resources? I don't even have the resources to fully level that character all the way up, right? It's going to cost 93 gold for you to get them all the way to level 40. And it's going to cost you, how much is level 30? So level 30 is only 23,000. That's not too bad, right? But then you start getting to level 35, you're looking at 49,000. And then from 35 to 40, you're doubling that gold amount. So that's just one character. Remember, we're also going to be getting Elrond soon after, then potentially Elrond. So it's going to be very, very important that if you want to pursue these characters, you aren't only farming the requirements for them like now, you're also starting to save your resources so that you can spend them when you have to. That's kind of the name of the games, and I haven't really been able to find a specific amount or a rhythm to get into, but one of the things I used to cover with Marvel Strike Force is setting a strict budget in this game every single day for your resources, for like your gold spending, your training mat spending, whatever, and making sure that you don't break that, because that it's a way for you to slowly continue to build your account but still stock up enough in the background so that you can panic spend, or you can build new characters as they come out. And that's all I'm going to leave you guys with today. I know it's kind of a quick video, but I just want to get all this information out there for you guys and show you guys how I'm handling this. Let me know down in the comments, are you guys farming the elves? Where are you at? Are you guys excited for Arwen? Let me know. Can't wait to hear from you. Love you. Bye.